The heart of your teams. The heart of Minnesota. Bally Sports North. The heart of the fan.
The All-Star festivities are behind us, but there's still a lot of good baseball yet at T-Mobile Park in Seattle. Seattle, the first of four between the Twins and the Seattle Mariners. It was a good weekend for the Twins in Oakland. It was a good weekend for the Twins in Texas, too, because the Guardians lost 3 games while the Twins swept the A's. So now the Twins have a 2.5-game lead in the American League Central. Dick Bramer along with Justin Morneau and with Trevor Plouffe a little bit later on. What we've seen over the course of this season, some of the younger Twins players opening up the whole field. We saw it from Royce Lewis, we've seen it from Eddie Julien, and we've seen it consistently from Alex Kirilloff, especially yesterday.
Yeah, there's a reason that this guy was a top 100 prospect across the game. There's a reason I believe he has a chance to be an all-star in the future. He can do things that other hitters can't do. He can let the ball travel but still hit it with power. And we saw that on an opposite field home run with 2 strikes, down and away off a left-handed pitcher, and he just powered that ball out of the ballpark. And then later in the game also drove in 3 runs with a double the other way, hit it hard. So when he's driving the ball the other way, that tells you he's seen it a long time, he's letting it travel, and he's doing things that very few hitters across the game can do.
When the Twins won games in the first half of the year, it was usually because of really good starting pitching. But in Oakland, the starters struggled a little bit, and instead the bullpen stepped up big time.
Yeah, and it was everybody. Obviously, you work backwards from Duran. He got saves in all 3 games, but it was everyone else going into high-leverage situations. That Oakland team really battled, and as Rocco said before the game, they had a chance to win every game in that series, but because of the work the relievers did, how they kept the games close, how they got big outs when they needed to, whether it was someone coming in the middle of an inning and getting a double play, whether it was someone coming in with a tough situation and striking somebody out when they needed it. They had contributions from everybody in that bullpen, and then obviously Duran's going to be down tonight, but Rocco said he's got plenty of arms and plenty of guys that he trusts to use tonight if the Twins have a lead late. So hopefully that'll be the case. They have an opportunity for another save, and it'll be an opportunity for someone other than Jhoan Duran, as we see, who pitched 3 straight, racked up the pitches. Rocco said there is absolutely no chance he's coming into the game tonight. So it's going to be up to the other guys, and hopefully they get that opportunity.
Well, here we are in the middle of July. This is the first meeting of the year between these two teams. Very similar team stats. But the Mariners have one of the brighter young stars in baseball. Trevor Plouffe will have more on Julio Rodriguez when we come back.
And welcome into T-Mobile Park in beautiful Seattle, Washington, as the fans are entering, waiting to see the Twins take on the Mariners in Game 1 of the series. I was here in this park a week ago to watch the Home Run Derby, and the hometown kid, Julio Rodriguez, put on an absolute show. I have never heard it as loud in the stadium as it was that day as the crowd was chanting, Julio, Julio. 41 homers in round 1 of the Derby. It was quite the spectacle. He ended up losing to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the eventual champion. But let's look at what he's done over his first 2 seasons here. 41 homers, 47 stolen bases. Only 5 other guys in the history of the game have done that. Bobby Bonds, Darryl Strawberry, Barry Bonds, Ronald Acuna Jr. Those are the type of names that you want to be mentioned alongside to start your career. Now, Julio hasn't had a great start to this year, and the Twins are looking to keep it that way. It's going to get sunny in Seattle tonight. Sonny loves pitching here. Game 1 of the series. The Twins look to keep on this hot streak they've had in the second half. If you were thinking about it, don't you dare change the channel. Twins, Mariners up next.
The Twins needed out of the All-Star break. A 3-game sweep of the A's to regain control of the AL Central Division. Tonight, the talent level steps up a bit when the Twins meet the Mariners. The first of 4 games from the Pacific Northwest comes your way next. And the weather tonight and throughout this 4-day period that the Twins spend here in Seattle, the weather's supposed to be fantastic. We hope to have 4 outdoor baseball games for you. Seattle will come to Minnesota next week to help fill out the homestand for the Twins, and Rocco Baldelli has to be encouraged with what he saw in Oakland. Granted, it was against the A's, an inferior team, but run scoring, some clutch hitting, and pitching along the way. Here's the Menards batting order for the Twins: Carlos Correa, Edward Julien, Byron Buxton, Alex Kirilloff, Donovan Solano, Max Kepler, Ryan Jeffers, Joey Gallo, and Michael A. Taylor.
And your home furniture starting pitcher stats will be Logan Gilbert, who's been very good his last time out. Complete game shutout 2 starts ago, and then the start before the All-Star break went 7 innings. And really good fastball, slider combination. We'll throw a split as well. We'll mix in a curveball, but really the difference maker for him recently has been his ability to throw that slider in pretty much any count. Behind in the count, he can steal strikes with it, get back into at-bats. Tall, righty, and he's going to go out there, work diligently, just attack hitters.
Correa, Julian, and Buxton here in the first inning. The Twins hope for a few more after that. Correa takes up. Now, two teams have almost identical records. They've got very similar strengths, very similar weaknesses. I feel obligated to tell you, if you can't distinguish one from the other. The Twins are wearing the gray uniforms, and the Mariners are wearing the navy tops with the white pants, because both teams will strike out a lot. Both teams have gotten really good starting pitching, and it's amazing how similar they are at this point in the season.
Yeah, also coming in with expectations of the season. Both teams expect themselves to be playoff teams. But yeah, both teams tied for second in the league in ERA as a staff. Seattle's issued the least walks. Twins have issued the fourth least amount of walks. Seattle's allowed the least home runs. The Twins allowed the third least amount of home runs. So not a lot of hits, not a lot of walks, not a lot of base runners. The pitching staffs for both teams have been very good. And on the flip side, the offenses have struggled, but the Twins, one of their strengths, they do have the 5th most home runs in the American League. So they do have that ability. The difference making in this series could be the home runs.
2-2. Both teams strike out a lot. The Twins the most in the American League. The Mariners second in the American League. That's what we're talking about, both teams. And this would bode well for either team or both teams if they can get to the playoffs. They pitched awfully well, and that's usually a difference maker come the postseason. And Correa takes a call, third strike. One down. For defense for the Mariners, and out in the field defensively, they're like the Twins, kind of middle of the pack. Kelnick in left field. Julio Rodriguez in center, and Teoscar Hernandez is in right. Suarez, Crawford, Caballero, and France, the infielders. Cal Raleigh doing the catching. Here's Eddie Julien with one down.
Oh, you see why he's so tough. 97, tall. He's got as good extension as anyone in the big leagues. Very low spin on that fastball, though. It's the only reason he really gives up a bunch of hits on that thing. Is doesn't have as much ride, but he releases that ball basically in the same area as Bailey Ober, distance to the plate. So tall guy takes advantage of that size. Ball gets on the hitters. Good velocity. Not a ton of spin, so it's not really going to ride up in the zone.
Ober will pitch for the Twins tomorrow. 2-1.
But that slider in the low 90s, it's not like a cutter. It's got some depth to it. It's got some movement to it.
Fouled away. 2-2.
Oh, Eddie knew he got one there, middle, and see him shaking his head. As a hitter, you know when you get a pitch you should have hit, and that's the old, they call it now, the meatball right in the middle of the zone. Got to take advantage when you get those.
Just missed the corner, up and away. Full count to Julian, entering this game with an on-base percentage of .359, which is pretty good considering his rookie status. Good batting average, .285. Strikes out a lot, but has walked a lot as well. And another one to hit.
Yeah, slugging percentage, .518 coming into this thing, so 11 doubles, 7 homers. He's been really doing a lot to carry this offense in some ways. When he's in there, he's a threat to get on base. He's a threat to drive the ball.
And he takes down and in and takes a walk.
And he knows how to do that.
So, a man aboard now with one out, and Buxton coming to the plate.
I think it'll go a long ways if Buck can have a good series here and a good start to this series. A tough matchup here with the big righty on the mound, but it's really been a battle for a pretty long stretch here again for Buck. So we know he can get as hot as anyone, but see if he can get something in the zone and get this series started off right.
Strike one over the inside edge. With France holding Julian, Buxton has just about the entire right side of the infield wide open for him, but we know Byron to be more of a pull hitter. Missing inside. The average at 199, second on the team with 15 home runs. driven hard but foul, and we've seen a lot of that too. Some of his better hit balls are pulled away foul. 1-2.
I think it's just a trust. It's a timing thing, number one, but also a trusting the hands maybe issue, if you want to call it that. He sees the ball in and not sure if he's going to get jammed, so he just wants to get that barrel out there quick and get it off the good part of the bat. And just a hair quick, if he's able to keep that fair, it's an extra base hit.
Up and in, 2-2.
It almost sounded like it might have clipped him, but he's not acting like it did.
Kirilloff on deck. Good day yesterday at the plate, moving up from 9th to 4th in the lineup tonight. High fly to center. And Rodriguez now has to come in. That ball may have been knocked down by the wind. With the roof open, the wind is coming in from center field, and that's out number 2.
Yeah, Flagg's actually going pretty hard in from straightaway center. A lot of it gets blocked by this stadium, but yeah, you're right. I think that really held up, almost fooled him. It's going to be hard to get a ball out of here to straightaway center today.
And now Kirilloff drove in 4 runs in the ball game yesterday. Season total 22. Both extra base hits went to the opposite field. Julian takes off, an off-speed pitch, and Julian is in safely. The ball going into center field, and he will wisely hold up at second base.
That's a nice jump right there, taking advantage of a guy who was over 1.4 to the plate. Tall guy, so that's going to be one of the challenges when you're that height. We've seen Bailey Ober do a great job of it, of holding runners and being quick to the plate there. Picked a breaking ball to run on, so it gave him a little bit more time, and Julian gets his second stolen base of the year.
Get to the outfield, should put the Twins on the board. Fouled away. 2 strikes.
That split he'll use a lot more to the left-handed hitters. He'll use it as an out pitch to the left-handed hitters. He's more fastball slider and actually only 38% fastball to the righty, so a little different mix to the left-handed hitters.
Wide of the plate.
A lot of room. Surprising to see them playing, Crawford playing Kirilloff up the middle. We know he likes to shoot the ball the other way. If he hits it to straight up short, Julian will be able to walk home.
Foul again.
I think we talked about it. You talked about it. Wrist looks healthy. If he's letting the ball travel, that means he's got trust in his hands. Just like we talked about in the Buxton at bat. If you trust your hands, you let the ball travel a little bit longer, and then that allows you to pick up the off-speed stuff.
Just got a piece to stay alive.
He got a hanger too. That was the curveball. He uses the curve and the split to the left. He's about the same amount, but just a little different look, and just swung over the top of it.
And now pulled foul.
I like the competitiveness, though, in the at-bats. I think we noticed that in the Oakland series. There was a little more fight. There was some fouling off of pitches. The Buxton at-bat with the bases loaded, where all the boys got fired up on the bench. Seeing him put together that at-bat and walking and driving in a run, see if Kirilloff can get a result he likes after making Gilbert work here.
Another 1-2. And now 2-2. Pitch number 25 of the first inning for Gilbert. The reigning American League, not just pitcher of the week, but player of the week because of 2 really good starts, including a complete game shutout of the Giants. And now 3-2. Solano on deck. What an at-bat here so far, or plate appearance for Alex Kirilloff.
Cal Raleigh jumped up like he thought he went for sure there. At least from our vantage point, didn't look like he was even close. Alan Porter down there at third. Crew chief saying no way.
No, not a chance. Full count with 2 down. on the ground, backhanded. Forehanded rather by France. He makes the play, and that wraps it up. A long first inning. And Julian left at second base. No score after a half. Saw his team get through the regular season, get back to the postseason for the first time in 21 years last year. Still a chance to get it done this year with a .500 record. Here's the Menards batting order. J.P. Crawford, Julio Rodriguez, Jared Kelenic, Eugenio Suarez, Cal Raleigh, Teoscar Hernandez, Ty France, Mike Ford, and Jose Caballero.
In your home furniture starting pitcher stats, it'll be Sonny Gray taking the mound. Fresh off his all-star appearance, pitched an inning in this ballpark not too long ago. The number that stood out to me, only 3 home runs allowed on the season. He's been tremendous. He mixes his pitches. He knows exactly what each one is going to do and how he wants to get the left-handed hitters and the right-handed hitters out.
Softly to Julian, one away. Crawford retired, and that'll bring up Julio Rodriguez. Check out the Twins in the field, brought to you by Ford. Joey Gallo in left field, Michael A. Taylor in center, Max Kepler in right, Solano, Correa, Julian, Kirilloff around the infield with Jeffers doing the catching. In his last start of the first half, before the All-Star break, Sonny Gray had not one of the weirdest starts of his career, one of the weirdest starts of his season. He pitched 6 innings, 5 of them were no-hit innings with just 1 walk allowed, but in that 1 inning, the Orioles got 6 hits, a couple of walks, and 6 runs. And even in that game, he didn't give up a home run. But the Orioles strung everything together they possibly could, or in fact did, in his 6 innings, into 1 fateful inning. 1-1 to Rodriguez. Big swing and a miss.
You can get the right-handed hitters to do that. When he's on, he's getting that chase on the breaking ball. We saw it in the All-Star game, struck out Acuna, but he just does such a great job of one pitch feeds off the other.
And a called third strike, 2 down.
It's the curveball, it's the cutter, it's the sweeper, and then he mixes that sinker into the righties, more four seam to the lefties, but he just froze him on this one. Just not sure if he was looking for something else. Or it's just so hard as a hitter when a guy has 3 different versions of a breaking ball to figure out how much it's going to break. Is it going to end up below the zone? Is it going to end up, well, am I going to chase? We saw him chase the previous one, so maybe he's telling himself, okay, get disciplined, get something in the zone.
It's tough enough to, I would think, pick up spin when you have such a short time to recognize the pitch, but then within that you have to determine which spin it is.
Yeah, and how much it's going to break, and he does such a good job of tunneling his pitches, of trying to get him to come out of the same release point.
Kelenic, the batter.
Ooh.
1-1.
Yeah, the pitch arsenal, pretty even mix of everything, but it's not that. It's a little more dramatic if you break it down between right and left-handed hitters. It's so hard because he can throw all those pitches for strikes. He uses not just 1 or 2 pitches as a strikeout pitch. He uses multiple different, multiple pitches, and it's not the same to the righty and the lefty. It's a more of the sinking fastball to the righties, more of the four seam to the lefties. The sweeper has been a really good pitch for him to both.
2-2. Then you see spin after spin after spin. This one doing this, that one doing that, and then his 93 must seem like 98.
Yeah, you're trying to sit there and wait and let it get to you, and he's got a high spin on that fastball.
Good inning for Sonny Gray. On 11 pitches, he has a 1-2-3 first with a couple of strikeouts. An inning. It's been a fun West Coast road trip. Twins have been winning games. We've had the pleasure to work with Trevor Plouffe here, as we will throughout this 4-game series. No promises today or no wishes for any of the Twins players today?
I missed 11-11, and I'm kind of hesitant.
And I need to ask you about that. I had to ask you guys about that because that's something that's not just a baseball thing?
Nope.
That's worldwide.
Worldwide?
Yeah.
What? So when
at least in my world.
Actually, I learned it from Krista. I had no idea either until
okay. So like
a while ago.
5:55 in the morning, you could do that?
Yes.
Yeah. Probably wishing to go back to sleep at that point.
Yeah. There's a drive right field. That ball's hit pretty well. Hernandez back and making the catch short of the track. One away. Solano retired. Well, I had never heard that before, but we had quite a bit of fun yesterday with Alex Kirilloff. You wished for him a home run, and he hit one, and he had the pleasure of acknowledging you up in the booth.
That was nice. That was a fun moment for us. All the credit goes to AK.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to say that right now.
You put it out there, though.
I put it out there, yeah.
Put that thought in his head, that positive thought in his head, and went out and got it done.
Kepler takes outside a ball. This was yesterday.
I mean, we can't see this too many times.
Unreal. He's a big homer, too.
The fact that he remembered when he was coming right there.
Fouled back by Kepler, and it's 1-1.
Well, it was a good first inning for the Twins. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get to Gilbert. That is where he has really struggled this year. It's been a challenge for him, and he got through the first. They made him work. They made him throw a ton of pitches. Hopefully, that wasn't the best opportunity they're going to have.
Dribbled foul.
Once he finds it, he really tends to settle in. And talking to Dave Sims, talking to some of the Seattle people, he said, you can look up and he'll have retired 14 of 15, or he can just all of a sudden find that cruise control and just get it dialed in and just start dotting up, making pitches.
Bouncing to the catcher, Raleigh.
You mentioned how good he's been as of late. I was wondering why. I was doing some research on Logan here, and he's throwing his four-seam fastball a lot less this season. That's been his bread and butter, but this year it's been getting hit. He's got a -6 run value as opposed to a 19 in 21, a 12 in 2022. He's changed some things up. He's starting to throw a splitter this year, and the off speed has come up as well a little bit this year. But he relies on that elite extension, like you said.
Yeah, the spin actually on his fastball is less, almost 200 revolutions less than last year. So he's actually not getting as much spin. So he's taking something off of it, whether that's to locate it better or maybe to try and get it to run a little bit more. But it's really interesting to see in an age where guys are trying to get more spin, trying to get more ride.
Of course, I will defer to you guys, but when you say 200 RPMs less, you're talking about 200 revolutions per minute less.
Yes.
And that is about what? 1.5 revolutions in the time it takes?
I guess so.
That's how minute it is. But
It really is.
Apparently it makes a big difference.
But that would be the difference, I guess, in between. I mean, this is just a guess, an estimation, maybe between that ball jumping on you the last 4 or 6 inches. So maybe it seems like you have more time. It's not going to ride as much, so you don't have to almost feel like you have to swing above the ball. You just kind of, it's going to go where you almost expect it to go.
Floats one over, called third strike. Kepler out. Second strikeout for Gilbert. 2 away for Jeffers now.
Such a good pitch coming from a guy this tall. If pitchers could do this every single time during the bat, they probably would. It starts so high, it just makes you give up on it as a hitter. But there, you see it clips the top of the strike zone. It's a very difficult pitch to repeat. Like I said, if they could, they'd do that all day long.
Jeffers, the batter, bases empty, 2 down. Checks his swing.
But the difference between leaving it up there and letting it roll just a little bit more,
Yes.
difference between that one being a hanger and the one that starts down and ends up below the zone. Hitters aren't going to do much with the miss below the zone, but if you miss in the zone, that ball will end up hard hit, maybe in the seat somewhere. So it's a fine line you have. If you're going to end up trying to throw high breaking balls, you can get punished for them, because if they break a little more than you expect, you get in that danger zone to the hitters.
1-1. A fastball down the middle. 1-2.
It's amazing how you can see, he was battling a little bit in the first, and obviously give the Twins hitters credit, making them work, making them throw a lot of pitches. But now it seems like he's already kind of finding his rhythm, working a little bit quicker. He's got a good pace going. Just getting that ball, gets through that delivery. And
Lace to right. Twins have their first hit. Running toward the gap. And Jeffers will hang on with a sharp single to right. That'll bring up Joey Gallo. Gallo known for his tape measure home runs. Our Burger King ruling the plate. And home runs in all 30 ballparks.
All right. It's a good list to be on right there.
12 no-doubters. This one to right. And caught by the right fielder Hernandez. And the Twins leave Jeffers at first. No score after an inning and a half. American League All-Star team. He finally got to pitch in one, and it was here last Tuesday.
Yeah, and he did very well. He came out, obviously, a little different situation for most of these guys. A lot of these pitchers that get named to the All-Star game are starters, and then they have to find a way to warm up, fall into the routine. I mean, I noticed even as a hitter, most of those the games that I played in, I came in the middle of the game, and it's a little different routine. And for the starting pitchers who are used to getting that long toss in before the game and kind of warming up a certain way, Sonny got to come in the middle of the game.
We don't have a hitter here. Suarez is not coming to the plate for some reason.
Hey, there's Jim Wolf. I'm buddies with his brother Randy. He lives in my neighborhood, so shout out Randy Wolf. I'm going to shoot him a text right now. Where do you think Eugenio was?
Can we answer that question?
I don't know. Maybe he was finding some extra pine tar. I don't know.
Some new batting gloves.
Suarez, Raleigh, and Hernandez facing Sonny Gray here, starting the Seattle second inning. First pitch, again softly. This one over the reach of Julian. Wherever he was ready to swing when he got in the box.
An aggressive first pitch hack from Suarez here. To be honest with you, I'd do the same against Sonny. You guys talked about it a little bit, but it's so tough to game plan all those different pitches. If you think you're going to get a heater, he's trying to get ahead of you, why not ambush? A nice swing, staying within himself, back up the box. Kind of gets in on him a little bit, but he muscled that one out there in center field.
Here we go again. Cal Raleigh will bat. First pitch strike.
A couple of high strikes called so far in this game. There was one in the last inning. That one a high breaking ball.
Crack to right field. Another fastball. And Suarez checks in at second. So a pair of singles to start the second inning. And that'll bring up Teoscar Hernandez.
Teoscar not having the offensive year that I think the Mariners had hoped for. There's a few guys on this Mariners roster that are a little bit down from what they expected. A lot of strikeouts. Sonny could use one here.
Or a ground ball double play. He's gotten 7 of those. Stands to reason. Gray with a lot of downward movement on his pitches. Gets a lot of ground balls. Maybe he can get one here. There's a ground ball. Low flip, and Julian stays with it to complete the double play. Nicely done by the Twins second baseman.
Ask and you shall receive. Nice call, partner.
This is a great play by Julian here. If you're turning this ball, the number one thing you have to do as a middle infielder is stay low and expect a bad feed. And that's what this was. Low down there. That's not where you want it. He wants it up towards the shoulders. But Julian doing a good job using his feet, staying down there, securing the first out, and then firing a strike over to first for the double play. Great call right there, Dick.
It is a very rare sight to see from Carlos Correa, a throw that's not right in the chest or a feed that's not right in the chest.
I thought you were going to say a very rare call by me.
No.
Ty France with a runner at third and 2 down, 1 strike.
For all the stat geeks out there, we're talking about run value. That's a baseball savant stat, and they had just changed. Negative used to be good in the run value, and now they've changed it. So a positive run value is good now to better align with other statistics.
Okay.
So we were thinking about that. It just changed 3 days ago. So you've heard us mention that stat before. Keep that in your mind now. Positive run value is now good.
Yeah, we talked about Joe Ryan's fastball being in the negatives. Now it's flipped to the positives, but
so like X-rays, right? Negative X-rays are positive, right?
Yeah, there's nothing there.
But now negative's negative, which makes sense. They should have started that way.
Okay. 1 and 2.
And for the people who have no idea what we're talking about, none of this makes any sense at all. So there you go.
Nice stop by Jeffers. The ball may have landed in front of the left-handed batter's box. And as we saw Vasquez do yesterday, the intent not to catch the ball, just stick your chest out and let a ball carry him and go back to the ground.
That was a great look there. So when a pitcher throws a breaking ball, it's breaking away from the right-hand hitter, but when it hits the dirt, because of the spin, it kicks back the other way. So as a catcher, you have to anticipate that and angle your shoulders to direct it back towards home.
And got him to chase. We'll see a lot of that in this 4-game series. The Twins strike out a lot. So do the Mariners. Call it here. Fans are encouraged to bring their dogs, and we're always pleasantly surprised to see so many Twins fans here. And we hope to see you at Target Field as well. You can spend your weekend at the dock at Target Field. Your special ticket package includes an exclusive t-shirt plus a spot in the best seating section to join the celebration when the Twins reel in home runs. To secure your spot, visit twins.com/thedock. Michael A. Taylor leading off the Twins' third. Depending on your perspective, from my perspective, it wasn't that long ago that this area of the country was considered part of Twins territory. There wasn't a team in Kansas City for a number of years, no team in Denver, no team here. Laced down the line, fair, and into the corner. Taylor will have an extra base hit. Bounding around in the corner, Kelenic has some problems with it, but he fires it back in, and it's a leadoff double for Michael A. Taylor.
Well, he obviously didn't watch the pregame show with Trevor Plouffe down there, how to play that corner. But yes, I like this matchup. I didn't like it enough to say it out loud, but I like the matchup with that slider and with.
I'll vouch for you, bro. You said it to me.
With Taylor coming up, if he gets a hanging slider, he's going to hit it hard. I thought maybe there was a chance he was going to hit it in the seats, but you'll definitely take a double to get this thing started and turn the lineup back over. Correa saw some pitches his first at bat. We'll see if they can find a way to manufacture a run here.
Crack to the right field corner. Fair. And Taylor will score. Correa digs for second. And he's in with an RBI double, and the Twins take the first lead.
What a great approach right here. I think from once he saw Taylor get to second base, his thought process in this at-bat was, I'm going to get something to hit hard the other way. Not just sacrifice the at-bat, not give it away, but look for a pitch that he could drive over there, and that's exactly what he did. That smile will tell you. He got himself a hanging curveball. So Taylor hit the slider. Correa, watch how he lets this ball travel and almost just fights it off the other way. That tells me that his intent was to stay through that part of the field, and he gets rewarded for having a great approach.
Double down the left field line, double down the right field line, and now Eddie Julian. Down and in, ball one. Nice scoop by Raleigh.
Now, Morning, I actually highlighted the right field line here because it does jut in, and if you have to make a throw to home plate and you're where he just was, you have to take steps out to clear a lane. Now, throwing to second base, there's a lane there, but
really?
It's kind of a corner over there. You can get tucked down in there. It's a very interesting part of the park. I'm not sure why it's like that, but it was the one thing I found interesting. It's not the same as left field.
Oh, really? Okay.
You see right there in that corner, you can get tucked and you won't have a lane to throw to home.
That is weird.
It's strange.
1-1 to Julian.
But you were going through the pregame show highlighting what teams usually do when they go into a ballpark on the road. You roll some balls down the third and first base line, see what it's going to do if it's a tapper or a bunt, then go into the corner, see how the caroms, how it's going to play off the wall for the outfielders. And it's interesting to see how teams prepare.
2-2. Julian drew a walk, stole a base in the first inning.
That's the attention to detail that, you know, at this level, everyone's a good ball player. It's those little things that kind of separate you and separate these teams. You got to do all those, understand the park you're playing. It's the game within the game, Morny. I love that saying, the game within the game.
And a base hit to left. Correa retreated to the second base bag. And Julian advances Correa to third base with an opposite field single. So here we are, third inning, 3 straight hits, and only one of them pulled.
Well, Correa reacting to this ball, knowing the positioning of the infielders here. Watch how he just kind of checks back. He doesn't want to get caught off too far with Suarez over there, and then obviously realizes he's got no chance to score. But 2 opposite field hits, a lot like we saw in that series in Oakland. You guys just taking what the pitcher's giving you, setting up run scoring situations, putting the pressure on the pitcher, having to work with traffic. We saw it in the first, now we're seeing it again in the third, and just putting together a lot of good at-bats. And I think for me, the Julian at-bat in the first, taking the walk off a guy he's never seen before, off a guy playing in a ballpark he's never played in before, seeing a ton of pitches, led to some success in that at-bat as well.
And the Mariners are almost inviting Buxton to try to hit the ball to the right side, but again, it depends on how they pitch him too. Given the shift that they have, and it's not an exaggerated shift by rule, Caballero has to stay on that side of second base, but kind of hard to take inside pitches and push them to the opposite field. Buxton with a full swing there, 1-1.
That actually looked like he had thoughts of doing the same thing there. He stayed on that hanging breaking ball. And he's probably going, if I try and pull that thing, I got it in the seats. But it looked like he had an approach, much like Correa had, of I'm just going to stay through it.
1-1 with 1 on the board for the Twins. Swing and a miss. And we've seen Byron do a lot more of that with fastballs than before. He used to just punish center cut fastballs, but a swing and miss right now in his game.
Byron's putting in the work. I saw him down in the clubhouse today pouring over video, comparing at bats. You got to expect the results to come. He's doing everything he needs to do. And as we mentioned many times, it's sometimes just one at bat. It could be a jam shot single. It could be anything that gets you going. A player of his caliber with his talent level doesn't stay down too long. We'd love to see some of that here.
1-2. Staying alive. Kirilloff on deck. But we thought the walk on Saturday might have been the trigger to get him going.
Yeah, you never know when it's going to come. And, you know, shoot, Morny, I probably experienced this more than you. But there are times where you feel lost in that batter's box. You feel like, you know, you've been swinging a bat for 20-plus years, and sometimes it feels like you've never done it in your life. I don't know if that's what Byron's feeling right now, but when you get there, it's lonely.
Off-speed pitch, swing and a miss, and now Kirilloff with runners on the corners and 1 down.
Well, I think the challenge here, you come up there as a hitter, and especially with his speed, when you have a thought that's all I have to do is put the ball in play, that's more of a passive thought. It's not really an aggressive thought. When he's at his best, he's going up there taking good swings, and here just kind of fooled a little bit out on the front foot, kind of losing that power off the backside. And I'm thinking his thought in his head once he got 2 strikes was, I just got to put this thing in play. And sometimes that can lead to some softer swings and some chases.
This will be an interesting at-bat to watch. Kirilloff was up there for a long while and had a long battle with Gilbert before grounding out to first to end the inning. But he saw a lot of pitches and saw just about everything Gilbert had to throw at him. Big spot here. Twins have a run. Chance to do more damage here in the third. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
I mean, there's not too many other guys I'd want up in a situation like this than Alex Kirilloff. Chance to drive in a run, get the Twins up another run.
And now 1-2.
But you got to get him in the strike zone.
Yeah, I think he had thoughts of that ball. Like maybe he was looking for something in. That was a slider, just never got back to the plate. Just got to get him in the zone. See him pulling off like that. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go to the actual split right here.
Two and two.
Good time for Julian if he can get another. We saw him steal the last time he was out there after that walk. If he can get a good jump here, take off, and then take the double play out of order, you know, Kirilloff's able to put it in play, be able to generate a run with some contact here if he can get a good jump.
Staying alive, and that's what we saw in that first inning at bat. A lot of 2-strike fouls.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Morny, he mixes anything between a 1-4 and a 1-5 to home, and a guy of Julian's speed and a lead that he can get. You know, I'd like to see him run here.
2-2 to Kirilloff. Fouled away. We're at a point here with Kirilloff, granted over 3 seasons. Injuries have kept him from playing a full season. But now he's got some major league experience now, 540 at bats. What would be a full season's worth of at bats. We'll give you the numbers here in a second. 2-2 to Kirilloff. Hit hard, and that is a foul ball, and it hit the umpire.
How's that a foul ball?
I got to see a better angle there from up here.
Oh,
that looked
a rocket
fair.
that looked like it went right over the bag. I don't know that the Twins can challenge this, unfortunately.
On the ground in front of the umpire, but I don't understand how this ball was.
He was standing as he should in foul territory. It's first base umpire Mike Malinsky.
It's going to hook off the left-handed batter's bat.
Yeah, that looked like it crossed the bag in fair territory. Not the best look in the world, but that's what we have, and I don't know whether Rocco is appealing for Jim Wolf to maybe try to overrule the call made by an umpire who had other things on his mind, like, I don't want to get hurt here.
Well, Alan Porter's the crew chief. He's coming in to explain to Rocco, and maybe Rocco's saying, well, can we do anything about it? This is a really good crew. A bunch of guys that I remember from my playing time, and guys that will sit down and explain things to you. If you ask them to get the call right, yeah, they're getting together. This is why they're a good crew. They're okay. They want to get the call right. We'll see if they are able to do anything here, but the fact that they're even having a meeting, I think, shows what kind of crew they are.
Yeah, whether they change it or not, that's all you can really ask for. Hey, can you get together and talk about it?
I think Rocco's saying, well, he was getting out of the way of the ball, so how could he actually make that call? Can we give it to Jim here behind the plate? Because he's the only other one that would have a view of that.
And the umpire with his back to you is Alan Porter, the crew chief. It'll be as is. Very little chance that this call was going to be changed, but again, watch the ball. Oh my goodness, it hit the edge of the grass and went right over the corner.
That's close.
It's close.
Really close. That ball had a decent amount of hook on it. He wore that pretty good because that ball was struck off the bat right there.
8th pitch of the at bat now, Kirilloff. Just 1 out in the inning, trying to get that runner in from third with less than 2 out. And now 3-2.
And to be able to reset as a hitter, you think you got an extra base hit down the line, then you see it hit the umpire, then he calls it foul, and you got to step back in the box. I think, you know.
That was a good take.
Yeah, great take there. And again, Kirilloff is the right guy for this situation, very even-tempered.
A drive right center field. Caught by the right fielder Hernandez. Correa will come in and score, and another great at bat by Alex Kirilloff. It's 2-0.
What a plate appearance here. Just Twins up and down the lineup. Really doing a good job of just battling their way threw some tough pitches off a guy who's been throwing the ball as well as anybody in the league.
A well-hit ball given everything that happened. Kirilloff alone has seen 18 pitches from Gilbert.
It's a pretty looking swing.
Now Solano lined out to right his first time up. In there, strike one.
Well, thankfully, after how close that ball was to being an extra base hit down the line, he was able to get something else and be able to have a productive at-bat.
66th pitch for Gilbert. Fouled away, 2 strikes. 4 hits for the Twins.
And this is obviously, part of the game plan here, but he's thrown more sliders than he has fastballs. And that's not what his percentages say, but that must be something that they saw in the game planning against this Twins lineup. You mentioned the spin rate down a little bit on the 4-seam fastball. I think that's kind of right on the precipice of if it makes a difference or not. Usually you need to be around that 200, 250 difference in spin to really make a difference. At least that's what I hear. But he is just not going to that 4-seam fastball too often.
I'm surprised Julian is still standing on first base. With a guy like, obviously the different situation there, you want to run into if he hits a line drive, maybe you don't want to run into a double play there. But with Solano, who's very good with runners in scoring position, but also a guy who's got 4 home runs on the year, you'd love to get in a spot where he can score you on a single. See if he can pick one here to run on.
Well, here he goes.
3 and 2.
Yeah, he's running now.
Yeah, you look at his lead there, and he had his weight on his left leg, which is the one towards the bag. It just didn't seem like he was ready to run or going to run. But now, yeah, he'll be off with the pitch.
Julian doing a little bit of everything well.
This doesn't make sense to me to throw over and to hold him on here. Obviously, you want to stop him from scoring in the gap, but Solano uses the whole field. You're leaving the entire right side of the field open for him to let a breaking ball travel and shoot it the other way.
Foul tip, I believe. Nope, strike 3. And that'll end the inning, but a good one for the Twins. It started with 3 hits and ends with a couple of Twins runs. Sports North is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. Always nice to spend some time this time of year here in Seattle. Twins have done pretty well in this ballpark over the years, leading 2-0 with Sonny Gray now pitching to the Mariners in the third. Mike Ford, their designated hitter, leading things off. Went to the Pike Street Market. I got my cherries and my peaches this morning. I'm sure you guys have each enjoyed Seattle coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that you got some peaches. It is peach season.
Oh, man.
And cherries up here are very good. So you did. What a spectacular morning you had.
I did. Yeah.
You want me to tell you where I went this morning?
Yes.
Oh, no. This is why I missed 11-11.
Swung on and missed 1-2.
I was out to breakfast with my best friend Kyle Farmer.
Really?
Yeah.
You were just trying to make good because,
Yeah,
frankly,
he was a little jealous.
You
Yeah.
and Alex were pretty close after the game
Yeah.
last night, so 2-2.
No, we had a great time, and Kyle is such a good dude. We talk life and kids and ball, and you know, we don't get a lot of chance to hang with the players, but this morning it happened, and
Nice.
it was good.
Who bought?
I did.
You did?
Yes, sir.
What? He's going to hear about that one from me.
Inside now 3-2.
He's probably not going to be happy I mentioned it on air.
Well, he should have bought.
I offered.
Full count. Sonny Gray stick to a 2-0 lead. Doesn't want to walk the leadoff man. Caballero will hit next. Then J.P. Crawford.
I mean, you're working today. He's getting paid to sit over there on the rail and watch a game.
Oh, wow. He's going to be in there. You know that.
6th inning. He'll be in.
Yep.
Foul back.
A nice year here for Mike Ford. You know, he's kind of been all over the place. Started with the Yankees, then he was with the Giants, then Seattle, then Atlanta, then the Angels. Now back in Seattle, and you know, over 98 plate appearances and 927 OPS.
Back to Sonny Gray. Gets rid of it quickly. 1 away. Twins did not get good starting pitching in Oakland, but yet won all 3 games because of the bullpen. Kenta Maeda went just 3 innings. Pablo Lopez was given a big lead. That didn't last very long. Joe Ryan had some moments, but not his usual good outing.
He was pretty good yesterday. I think Oakland, as much as anything, you got to give their hitters credit for battling through, and he gave them a chance. And I think that's, if it's not your best day and you still give your team a chance, I think you're still doing a lot of things right.
Caballero jabs at it, strike 1.
This is the guy I was telling you about, Jose Caballero. He will give a pitcher fits. He works the pitch clock. He'll show bunt like that. He just is kind of a nuisance at bat, and I say that in the best way possible for him. He just makes it rough on the pitchers.
In the air.
Except right here.
And Sonny Gray already here in this 3rd inning has an assist and a putout.
Well, a great start after your team scores some runs. They made Gilbert stay out there for 28 pitches. They've been really making him work and not giving him much time. So nice job of the old shutdown inning. 2 for 2 so far.
And let's appreciate this for what it is, what we've just seen. We've all written down F1 in our score sheets.
Yeah.
We don't get a chance to do that much
You're
anymore.
totally right.
Here's Crawford. Ball 1.
Crawford, the biggest on-base threat. Great job. 53 walks, 3rd in the American League. He's seeing a ton of pitches. He's been swinging the bat well. And Seattle offense has struggled, but it hasn't been any fault of his.
1-1.
I was teammates with JP in the Phillies organization in AAA, and he was just kind of sitting there at the highest level. They didn't really have a spot for him or didn't give him a chance. He made his way over to Seattle, and typically a glove first guy. He can really pick it out there, but this year offensively he's picked it up for sure.
2-1.
Makes a mean tri-tip on the grill. If you follow him on Instagram, you'd know that. The big green egg.
Take your word for it.
Yeah.
And now 3-1. Second 3-ball count this inning. Julio Rodriguez on deck. Mariners in, and on the backside of the break, they lost 2 out of 3 to the Tigers, but they still won 8 of their last 12, trying to reemerge as a contender in the West. 5 games behind Houston, 8 games behind Texas. 3-2.
You know, stories like this make me so happy. You got a guy in an organization not getting an opportunity, then he comes over here, signs a 5-year, $51 million deal after putting up some good seasons. Just getting an opportunity.
Give him a chance.
And Gray comes back to pick up another strikeout, 4 of them early on, 3 shutout innings and just a handful of pitches for Sonny Gray.
Up and after back-to-back singles, Sonny Gray gets Teoscar Hernandez to ground into a 6-4-3 double play. Then he follows it up with striking out a Frenchman, Ty France. And Carlos Correa shoots one down the right field line into that corner that I so beautifully demonstrated during the pregame. Michael A. Taylor scores. It's 2-0 Twins in the top of the 4th.
Thank you for that modest report.
You both are too young to remember, but that you inject a little personality in recapping the highlights. You're a lot like Howard Cosell on Monday Night Football. I like that.
I'll take that.
Yes.
I'll take that.
1 strike. Kepler chops it up the line, foul, 2 strikes.
Well, you'd love to see them follow up that long inning they had with another sequence of good at-bats. Make them work, see if Kepler can find a way to grind out this at-bat, even make him just throw a few more pitches. Don't let him settle back in.
70 pitches through 3 innings, a couple of runs on the board, but Gilbert, as we've said, the reigning American League Player of the Week with a 9-inning complete game. It doesn't look like he's going to get a complete game against the Twins here tonight.
More pitches through his 2 innings than Sonny has thrown through his 3, so he's done a great job of putting at-bats together, making them work, having a game plan, and then sticking to it.
When he pitched his 9-inning complete game, and he had a comfortable lead against the Giants, 6-0, 5 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts, but a season high 105 pitches. And typically he's been, going 5-6 innings in the neighborhood of 85 to 90 pitches. Great at bat by Kepler. He falls down. The ball still goes into the corner, and he'll hold up. Now he's going to try for second, and he'll get a double anyway.
So Teoscar, not seeing him fall down, went after that ball and just kind of came up and threw it in soft, assuming maybe Kepler was going to be jogging into second. Well, he'll be hearing about that one for a while from the boys.
It looked like there was a little stutter step as he was saying, oh, maybe I won't go. Then he turned the jets on there, kind of the okie doke, if you will. Did he catch a cleat right here?
Sniper top deck. Oh,
tripped on his bat.
His bat flip got him. Watch the bat flip. 2 minutes for tripping.
That's pretty athletic.
When both your parents are ballet people, that's nothing. I mean, genetically, he should be able to handle that just fine.
Did you see him tumble and come back out into a full sprint? That was amazing.
Yeah.
There's Jeffers, singled his first time up.
That was beautiful.
Baseball is something else, man. The bat. Got him.
Kepler thought about it. Well, he couldn't find it. I think it was your generation of players. I've always suspected that maybe the players themselves objected somehow to what was a weekly feature of This Week in Baseball, the bloopers. And they were very entertaining. Now, you're nodding over there. Did you guys?
I watched This Week in Baseball.
Okay.
I loved it.
But, well, here's the 1-0 pitch. A high fly to left field toward the corner. Kelenic, now cutting back toward the line, is able to make a fair ball catch. And again, the wind blowing in from center. They have kept that from rattling around the foul pole.
Yeah, it's really knocking these balls down. I mean, this is their home ballpark, and you see the routes they're taking to go catch these balls. Watch how he circles this thing. He gets all the way back to the track and then has to close on it quickly, and they're getting fooled by it. They're not used to the ball kind of getting knocked down as much as we're seeing tonight.
Gallo lined out to right his last time up.
I think this meeting is, with how the Twins have been in on everything and how well he's been throwing the ball, they're sitting there going, all right, are they relaying signs out here? Are they giving them something? Or what's going on with these at-bats? Because they're taking some really good swings. And with the pitch comm and the way things work today, I think it's just a great approach from the Twins and putting together good at-bat after good at-bat.
Would like to get something out of this leadoff after this leadoff double this inning. Activity in the Seattle pen. Adcock is warming up. So to your knowledge, though, the players of your era didn't object to the bloopers being aired on This Week in Baseball?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Yeah.
But you don't see them anymore. Popped up, and the wind should help blow that out of play.
Well, that's what Twitter's for, right?
That's one of the things Twitter is for. At any rate,
I'm trying to think if they show them on the Jumbotron anywhere here. I haven't really
used
seen
to do it.
it.
I mean, once a week, you used to see it in the ballpark, up on the screen.
All the music,
all the funny, all the funny stuff that we used to do. We didn't find it funny at the time, but
1-1 to Gallo. Crawford gave Kepler room to get that hand in. Some shortstops have gotten back to the idea of, I'll put my knee down and make him reach around. One and one. Another towering pop-up.
That's a Joey Gallo fly ball right there if I ever seen one.
I think the roof was open. 2 down. That'll leave it to Michael A. Taylor.
You're talking about bloopers, low lights, if you will. About every weekend, I'd go to the field, coach my son's team at the local pony league, and I'd have a kid come to me and say, "Hey, Coach Trev, I saw you on YouTube." And I'm like, "Hey, what'd you see? A homer? A double? Like a nice defensive play?" And no, it's this one play that a ball got stuck in the webbing in my glove, and I couldn't get it out, and that's the one they bring up every time. So I'm on some popular blooper reel out there.
Another big pop-up. And Kepler's double looks like it's going to be wasted. Kepler with an adventurous trip to second base. Literally a trip to second base. innings, Twins up 2-0, and while you ponder whether you can tell when a Bulldog is happy, here's the American Family Insurance Home Protection. And here at home at this ballpark, Julio Rodriguez has really performed well, hitting 276 in this ballpark, 250 on the season.
Yeah, sky high expectations for this young man after the year he put up last year. Still very young, but very exciting player.
Backhanded softly by Solano. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Look at those hands.
That's a gorgeous play. He said, hey, I was born with these, man. Solano shifting the feet there. On that hop, you want to come get it. Create a short hop for yourself. You don't want an in-between hop, and you gotta move the feet to get there. You're gonna see it right here. Switches over, comes and gets it, picks it, sets his feet and throws. A great play. Doesn't look like all that much, but if you know, you know.
He made that look easy. That was not an easy play.
Here's Kelenic. Sonny Gray with 10 outs and 37 pitches. And getting ahead, 0-1. Kelenic struck out, swinging his first time up. I mentioned early on the Guardians were swept in Texas. They're now playing in Pittsburgh. They beat the Pirates in the opening game of that series 11-0. So the Twins lead in the Central, turned back to 2 games.
I too like the scoreboard watch.
Grounder, and Julian plays the hop, fires low, and Kirilloff is able to keep a foot on the bag and the ball in his glove.
Well, this hop kind of ate up Julian. Solano's footwork was perfect on his. He set himself up, and Julian kind of got himself in a spot where he got caught on an in-between hop. But fortunately, the best athletes are at first base, and his buddy picked him up over there.
Wow.
Look at that athleticism.
Yeah, he kind of creates this hop for himself. He could have came and got it, or could have stayed back. He kind of was in no man's land there. Then he realized he had to hustle with the throw a little bit. Sometimes when you do that, it just gets away from you. But Kirilloff, great job over there.
Now Suarez, and another first pitch strike. We've seen the Mariners very aggressive, putting the ball in play early in the at-bats, but why not if this guy's going to throw so many first pitch strikes?
Exactly.
Well, it's hard because Julio went up there and swung at the first pitch. So Kelenic goes up there and takes his first pitch. So Sonny recognizes that and said, I can just flip a first pitch breaking ball in there and steal a strike. And it's one thing to have that plan, but it's another thing to actually execute it.
Back in the zone with another off-speed pitch.
And you're right, Morty. We've seen a lot of Minnesota Twins first basemen and the athleticism over there, namely Joe Mauer. He was great over there.
Herbeck. Early days, Vic Power.
Yeah. Don't sleep on my defensive numbers over there at first base. Go check those out.
You
pretty good.
You two done yet?
You were good too, Morty.
2-2. And now full count with Raleigh on deck.
Well, he'd love to have a quick 1-2-3 inning here. See what he goes with to try and get Suarez. Suarez went up there, hit the first pitch of his at-bat for a base hit up the middle. I'm sure Sonny's going to want to give him another one like that.
Upstairs with a fastball. Settles the issue of 1, 2, 3, 4th inning for Sonny Gray. In front, kids, grab your glove because the Twins Community Fund is bringing a free youth clinic to a field near you. Register at playballmn.com. The early Twins would talk about making caravan trips all the way out to this part of the world because it was considered to be part of Twins territory.
Are you serious?
And even up to Alaska they would make trips in the hopes that at some point somebody from Juneau would hop in a car and drive all the way down to the Twin Cities to see Major League Baseball because they couldn't come here. Not even the pilots were here in the early 60s. I had that confirmed by Harmon Killebrew and others because I thought when the Twins told me that, they told me that just so I'd be okay with going to like Bismarck and Sioux City and Des Moines and all that on the caravan.
I was going to say, we've
not that
been
there's
some
anything
places.
wrong with those cities. I know that's not what you're saying. Just the
not
travel, the distance.
The
is what you're-
distance, right. But they would leave the Twin Cities in station wagons and drive out here and then go north.
You know what,
Kind of a
though?
fun
That's
road
why
trip.
it's the beautiful community.
Yeah.
Because of stuff like that.
In the dirt, 1 and 2.
I still get people who will tweet at me or come up to me at the game saying, I saw you here. And we used to go all those places in the caravan. I don't know how far they go nowadays, but we were on the road. It was like a traveling tour. I got sick every single year after that.
Correa swings and misses. One down here in the 5th. And that'll bring up Julian. He's reached twice. A walk and a stolen base in the 1st and an opposite field single in the 3rd.
Look at those numbers. Incredible. He's done a great job of adjusting to big league life and he's settled in. Looks like he's really comfortable in his at-bats. Just goes up there with a plan. Stays disciplined.
Just outside.
And on the days in Oakland facing a lefty when he didn't get the start, he didn't say anything about it, but you can tell he just wanted to play. That's the mentality that he has, and it serves him well.
Another base hit to the opposite field.
Good hitters get hits. When you use the whole field like he does, you get rewarded. And I think now 139 at-bats in the big leagues, but he looks like he's been here for years. And just has such an idea of who he is as a hitter. It's amazing for how young he is that he knows what pitches he can handle. He knows what pitches to take. And then he knows which ones he can just do that with it. You know, he's gonna hit his fair share of home runs.
So, with Buxton in the box 0 for 2 on the night. High fly to left center field. Rodriguez going back. And again with the wind. A little bit short of the warning track. 2 down. So let me ask you guys this, because Julian went through the WBC experience. And the competition's, high level there. You're talking about the best players from a variety of countries going through the tournament and all that. Could that experience help him playing in the major leagues and as you said, Justin, feeling comfortable like he's been here for a long time?
Yeah, I think any experience you get against the highest level, I mean, he had a good tournament, he hit some home runs. I mean, he kind of did everything in his power to help keep Team Canada advance. But I think there is something about being around big leaguers and playing in a big league stadium like they did out in Arizona and just sort of feeling like you belong. And then when you're young, you want that opportunity, and he's gotten that opportunity, and now he's taking advantage of it.
What was Carlos Correa's quote, seeing him in spring training? I believe, my God, this kid can hit. Something to that effect. And he is comparatively just a kid, 23 years old. Gabe Spire warming up in the Seattle pen now.
I mean, you put those numbers over a full season, that's an all-star year. That's a Silver Slugger type year.
And Kirilloff goes to the opposite field. Suddenly this Twins lineup, in more spots than not, looks like a completely different lineup than they did before the break.
Can I use your quote right now?
I don't know.
Good hitters get hits. That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, this looks a lot like the swings he took yesterday. Well-located pitch. I mean, that ball is maybe even below the zone, but just head down at contact, and that's a trust in the hands. But you're getting these young kids come in, injecting some life into this offense. It was really a struggle for a long while there, but since you've moved Correa into the leadoff spot, then it's kind of, you've got this balance as well, where it's right, left, right, left, right, left, kind of all the way down, and it makes it tough to match up. But it also, I feel like a lot of times if you stack right-handed hitters or left-handed hitters, that pitcher can get comfortable on one side of the plate or the other. Or if he needs to find a feel for his breaking ball and he's facing 5 righties in a row,
sure,
I get dialed in. Here's my pitch for a strike, and then here's my miss. And I think just this right left hasn't really allowed him to get comfortable out there on the mound.
Solano with a line out and a strikeout, trying to deliver another 2-out hit for the Twins. Hack to the right side. Caballero has it. Off target throw. They're calling him out. A run scores, and we'll see whether the Twins challenge the out. First base umpire Mike Malinsky claiming the inning is over.
Close.
But Julian, flying around third, has scored a run that might not count. And the Twins will not challenge it. The out and inning ended on this play, with the Twins leaving 2 men aboard. Wow. Oof, behind the ground ball. Nice play by Caballero. T-Mobile coverage, Cam.
That's right at the end. As the ball's in his glove, it's like he drags the toe. Like I said, best athletes over there at first base.
Oh yeah, the Frenchman.
That was close though.
Cal Raleigh will lead things off.
But
swing and miss.
Another slider with runners in scoring position. Another right-hand hitter. Another approach of the Twins of trying to just flip that ball the other way, shoot it the other way. And that side of the field was open. He tried, and that slider kind of backed up on him just enough.
2 strikes. A long way to go. But remember in spring training, Sonny Gray said he wanted he and his fellow starters to pitch deeper into ball games. Well, he has seen Joe Ryan pitch a complete game. He has seen Pablo Lopez pitch a complete game. He hasn't thrown 50 pitches yet. And he has now the first out of the 5th inning.
Yeah, last time that happened, I believe it was Lariano, Dunsing, and Carl Pavano in 2011. So get another one here. Like you said, long way to go, but he's put himself in a really good position throwing a lot of first pitch strikes, working ahead in the count, taking advantage of these Seattle hitters. And whether when you're struggling as an offense like Seattle is, seems like every time you take, a guy throws a quality strike or a strike in there, ball. And I always notice this too, Plouffe. I don't know if you did, but I go up there and go, okay, I got to take here. You know, guy swung at the first pitch of the inning or whatever it is. And you take it, and the ball's right down the middle, or you see a hanging breaking ball, and you go, oh, man, I would have crushed that. But I think, for me, a lot of times, is I think because you just slow down so much.
Oh, yeah.
That you see the ball so well because you know you're not swinging. So there is some benefit, I think, sometimes to taking, but also just the fact that sometimes you get mad. You go, why am I taking that? That's right down the middle. But also the fact you knew you weren't swinging, all you're doing is looking for the release point and seeing that ball out of the hand.
That's hit to the gap, left center field. Third Mariner hit. Hernandez hit a new double play in his first at bat. Now he has a double with one out in the fifth.
Well, Sonny's done a great job. These Twins starters have done a great job of pitching with runners in scoring position all season long. And we saw it earlier, as you mentioned, that double play. Now he's got to find a way to get France, who's really in the middle of a big struggle right now. 0 for his last 21 with 10 strikeouts. Teoscar barreled that one up, hit it hard.
Gray struck him out to end the second inning.
I saw two breaking balls in the heart of the zone there. Teoscar took the first one, swung at the second one.
Half swing, pitched well out of the strike zone.
Ty France looks like he's just not seeing it. He's really trying, not hitting as many home runs as he'd expect himself to, and got moved down in the lineup recently. And just
stopped by Jeffers.
Badly fooled in a great block. You're right.
And a breaking ball snaps over for strike two.
I mean, you've been there, Plouffe. I've been there. You chase the first one, and then he throws the next one right down the middle, and you take it because you're still stuck on the last pitch. Why did I swing at that? I don't want to chase another one, and you let the last pitch affect the next one.
Fastball up and in with the count now 1-2.
Sonny does such a good job just mixing the pitches up, you know. Not even sequencing, just mixing up his pitches, throwing a bunch of them for strikes. He can sequence with the best of them, but it's just you can't sit on anything with him. You really got to sit location, and then it becomes a guessing game at points.
Whoa.
That's two in this at bat.
Great stop by Ryan Jeffers.
Yeah, Jeffers been a cat back there, man. I love talking to him about ball. You know, watching him do his work and prepare like he's going to play every day, even though he knows he's not going to. And we get more and more time behind the plate.
See a couple of those, you begin to wonder whether catchers aren't the best athletes on the team.
Oh, here we go.
3 in this at bat.
Oh, I mentioned to him on the bus ride over to the stadium when we were in Oakland. I said, hey, we highlighted the fact that you've been perfect on the season on balls in the dirt. And I said, I think we might have jinxed you because later in the game.
But that was a wild pitch.
And that ended up being a wild pitch, but he's done a great job of doing just that all year long.
I want everyone at home to get down in the squat and try to do that move that he just did. Or actually, don't do that, please. That's a difficult move.
Got ahead of him 0-2 and lost him to a walk. Gonna bring up Mike Ford and bring out Pete Mackey.
And the coldest hitter in the Seattle lineup ends up walking, and now you got to face the hottest hitter in the Seattle lineup. So Pete Mackey coming out, just making sure get Sonny dialed back in here.
First walk of the night for Sonny Gray. Now a word from Gertens.
Bring your outdoor vision to life with Belgard and Gertens. Shop hundreds of Belgard paver bricks, walls, and fire pits at Gertens in Inver Grove Heights.
Again, we think we'll have outdoor vision for all 4 of these games. The weather's supposed to be spectacular here. Roof is open tonight. Sonny Gray's been sharp, but now first and second with 1 down.
Well, you mentioned that double play ball earlier in the game with Teoscar up there. Now you could definitely use another one here. Another situation Twins infielder Correa as far up the middle as he can get without being over that line. It'll be Solano having to hit him on the run if they do get a double play ball on the left side.
Inside, nearly hit him.
Mike Ford kind of looks like one of those old school ball players you'd see playing with Babe Ruth. Even the stance, the wide open stance like that, you know, the aggressive hack that he'll take and low hands like that, kind of looks like he could have played in the 1920s.
Or among contemporary players, Vogelback, Rowdy Tellez.
Oh, now you're putting him in that category. Okay. I see that.
1-1. Gray to Ford. And that one gets away from Jeffers. The runners will move up. And now the tying run is at second with one out. Sonny Gray's command has left him here in the fifth inning.
And I'm not going to mention Jeffers blocking balls in the dirt anymore. I'm going to say we jinxed him again.
That one looked like it stayed down on him right there.
It kind of skipped
right here.
No, did that hit Ford's foot? Yeah, that hit Ford's foot. That's why he missed it.
So now
they're going to look at it.
Yeah, they're definitely going to look at it. That's why he missed it, is the fact that.
Breathe easy, Morty. Breathe easy.
So a rugged inning here for Sonny Gray. He got that quick ground out to start this inning. And Ford, I think you could see pointing down to his back foot.
I mean, it's pretty obvious the way the ball skipped off that it hit him. There we go.
He's going to first,
yeah.
even though the call hasn't been overturned yet. Well,
just the change of direction.
The call is overturned. The batter was hit by the pitch.
well, now Sonny Gray will try to find that pitch that eluded him in his second start against the Orioles. He just couldn't come up with that big pitch to get out of that inning, and the Orioles ended up scoring 6 times in that inning. Mariners have the bases loaded, 1 down, and their number 9 batter Caballero at the plate.
Yeah, this is going to be you're going to hope for some swing and miss here, because he's going to be a tough guy to double up if he does hit the ball on the ground. He's got 15 stolen bases on the year. Tried to bunt his first time up.
Fastball for a strike.
That's a nasty first pitch right there. That's dotted down and away. It's been flipping a lot of off-speed stuff up there. Caballero comes up there and was not expecting that pitch. Definitely not in that location. It's a great pitch by Sonny.
2 strikes. Now Caballero, not the easiest guy to strike out. There are some high volume strikeout guys on this Mariners team. Justin, you pointed out they got 4 guys already this year with more than 100 strikeouts, but this guy strikes out about once every 5 times.
Yeah, 4 guys in the starting lineup with over 100.
Ahead 0-2, but he got ahead of France 0-2. What a stop by Jeffers. He has earned his pay here in this 5th inning alone. If the Mariners don't score, it's going to be because of Ryan Jeffers.
I was just going to say, Sonny's got to have all the trust in the world right now in Jeffers. He's going to bury one, and he does. And you can see the reason why.
It's interesting, though. He's kind of spiked a few of these now where he's just overcooked him a little bit, maybe trying to make sure he gets it below the zone to generate a swing and miss. But let's see if he can find a way to dial it back just a little bit.
Base hit left field. Hernandez will score. Everybody moves up 90 feet. And the Mariners are on the board. It's 2-1.
I like the pitch call right there. The location wasn't it. That hung middle of the plate. Sonny would obviously want that one back. If you start that outer third and let it run off the plate, I think you get a swing and miss, at least some soft contact. This one's going to end up middle, not where he wanted that ball.
Yeah, it looks like he's just kind of lost a feel for that breaking ball. We saw him spike it. That one kind of rolled up there, hung in the zone.
4 straight have reached, 2 hits, a hit batter, a walk. And now ball 1 to J.P. Crawford.
Now if you're the Mariners, you see that he's not controlling his breaking ball. You can do one of two things. You can just completely leave it and sit on the fastball, or you can try to wait for one of those mistakes that like he just made to Caballero.
2-0. High fly center field. Coming in is Taylor. He's got a strong arm. In fact, it's Correa. Infield fly rule was called. 2 away. And that'll bring up Julio Rodriguez.
About best case scenario for Sonny right there. Great pitch, a great at bat. Now we got the big guy up there. The base is loaded. And if you're looking for entertainment value, I think this is it. This is a big at bat during the game right here.
Fouled back. A fastball.
I just feel like he throws, even sitting up here in the booth, you know, I like to kind of, what's he going to throw next? What's the next pitch? What are they going to call here? It seems like he throws a fastball pretty much only when you're not looking for it. You know, it's first pitch fastball there, first pitch fastball to Caballero that he took.
Jeffers has been 8 pitches this inning that Ryan Jeffers has blocked with men on base.
We talk about that all the time, Justin. With Sonny, it's just hard to sit on pitches, and you can't really expect a certain pitch in a certain count because he does command so many of them.
1-1 to Rodriguez.
Yeah, he did.
Foul tip. And it's strike 2. Up and in.
Jeffers was all over that. He's fighting for his guy. That little check swing, little foul tip, and didn't seem like Wolfie called it right away, but ended up getting the call right. Now see if he can execute a quality pitch right here. Yeah.
Whoa, just off the outside edge.
That's the one, if he threw it to Caballero, would have got a swing and miss or soft contact. That was a nice pitch right there. Presents itself as a strike the whole way and then just gets out of the frame at the last second there.
Yeah, pretty good take.
2-2 to Rodriguez.
Throw it again.
3-2 in that awful inning against Baltimore when the Orioles got 6 runs. There were 2 bases loaded walks by Sonny Gray. They're loaded again, 2 down in a 1-run game. Did he go? No, it's a bases loaded walk and the game's tied. So odd that a guy who's had such great control all year long in his last 2 starts has issued 3 bases loaded walks.
A good at bat by Julio there. Sonny tried to get him chased to the top of the zone. Wasn't biting.
Bases are still loaded now for Jared Kelenic.
He's just really having trouble finding a feel for anything off speed right now. It's amazing how quick in the middle of this game that feel is just kind of started to elude him. And he was getting a ton of strikes, especially first pitch strikes, just flipping that breaking ball in there. Quality pitches. Now Jeffers going to go out. I'm guessing this means somebody's going to be getting up in the pen here.
30 pitches this inning, 75 in the game.
I was just going to say, I'm surprised nobody's up in the pen. Jeffers out there now. It looks like they called down. There's a little bit of movement out there. There's still nobody springing into action just yet.
13 outs in 14 plate appearances before Hernandez's double. Then a walk, a hit batter, a single, a bases loaded walk. And 1-0 to Seattle's third place hitter. Doink to left. And 2 runs will score. And the Mariners have scored 4 times here in the 5th.
This is the way it happens. You put traffic on the base paths. You kind of get behind in counts. You know, a swing like that doesn't hurt you. Nobody's on base. You got bases low. That's 2 runs.
He delivered the pitch right where Jeffers wanted it, up and in.
Yeah, he beat him. And if you're paying attention, if you're the Mariners, like you said, Plouffe, really struggling to throw that breaking ball over. So at this point, you're not getting off the fastball. If you're watching the game, if you're sitting over there going, he's bouncing that thing. He doesn't have the same feel that he has for it. It's just key in on the strike zone, shrink the strike zone a little bit, and try and stay on that heater.
94-mile-per-hour fastball, but off the plate, ball 1. 93 and in.
Yeah, it really seems like that's the only pitch that he can command right now is that fastball.
Jordan Balazovic warming up. Breaking ball in there.
I mean, we started this inning with thoughts of a complete game and a complete game shutout. But how quickly this thing flipped.
80th pitch coming up. So yeah, what was it? He had 13 outs on 47 pitches, I believe it was, something like that. Now,
48, 49 pitches. Yep.
Pitch count up to 80. Nicknamed Gino here in Seattle. 2-2 from Sonny Gray. And a full count. The runners will take off.
Well, he struck him out last time with a 3-2 fastball. Beat him at the top of the zone. See how they attack him here.
Nice play.
Wow.
Solano across the diamond to put an end to it, but the Mariners put up a 4 spot in the 5th. Solano's made it twice against Rodriguez leading off the 4th, and then in a bigger spot to end the 5th. Old National Bank, it never gets old.
Well, the feet set up the hands, and his feet put him in a position to catch this ball. And the way Tom Kelly always said it to me was no collisions. Watch how soft his hands are right there. If he tries to swat at that ball, if he tries to, you know, if it's loud, if it's a collision, if it's a solid contact within the glove, that ball clanks and it falls back to his feet. But because he was soft with his hands right there and he just absorbed that thing, he was able to make that play look easy. That was not an easy play.
The Twins are trying to come back against the Seattle bullpen. Starting with Gabe Spire, he's been really good. Does not walk many people at all throughout the Oakland series. They would bring in one reliever after another with power arms, but a lot of walks issued. Spire has pitched 29 2/3 innings and only walked 4 men, one of those intentionally. And Kepler now behind in the count 0-2.
It looked like he had thoughts of getting a rally started by flipping one the other way, like we saw him do off a lefty. Hit one towards the end of the bat, but shot it the other way, and Twins were able to score that inning.
And the Twins have had opportunities to add to the 2 runs they got in the 3rd. They got a leadoff double in the 4th, didn't score that. A couple of singles in the 5th, but plenty of time to go here. Might have cracked his bat. A little dribbler to first. Spire there, 1 away. That'll bring up Ryan Jeffers.
Now, can I ask you an age-old question, Dick?
Okay, now you're asking me because.
Well, don't focus on the word old, okay?
Okay.
The Mariners sent 9 people up to the plate. Now, do you consider that batting around,
Yes.
or do they have to send 10?
Yes.
Okay, I'm
Right.
with you.
Okay.
I'm with you. That's why we're good friends.
Here's my argument.
Okay.
And we've discussed this before. I'm going to draw a circle on this sheet of paper.
Okay.
Now watch me. I'm going to go around, and I have gone completely around, and I am ending where I started.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I am with you.
Man, why am I? It seems like it's you two against me all night. All the
So
series
you
in
think
Oakland.
10 people? I got to hear your reasoning.
Because it didn't come all the way around. Didn't get back to where it started.
It did.
No, it finished on the guy before it started. If the same guy who led off the inning ends up hitting again, then it came all the way around.
I don't see it that way.
I don't either.
Yeah. I'm sure Twitter will chime in and let us know who's right.
On Twitter, they'll probably tell us that we're both wrong.
Yep.
I'm glad I don't have Twitter.
1-2 to Jeffers. Just need to get something going here against hopefully Spire. And a strikeout, out number 2. That'll bring up Joey Gallo. Your game day experience starts with the official MLB Ballpark app. The Ballpark app lets you manage your digital tickets, browse team schedules, view interactive ballpark maps, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. 2 down, and now Gallo. He hit a liner to right and sent a towering pop-up caught by Caballero.
I mean, look at how this game has played out. They were able to get a guy who's been throwing the ball well all year, 94 pitches, got him out of there in the 5th. He was looking at a loss, looking at a deficit.
2 strikes to Gallo. Now he may pick up a win.
And the thing just flipped. It was. I mean, the offense did a great job of just grinding out at bats, making them work, getting into the bullpen early. Everything was looking good, and then all of a sudden, this Mariners offense that has struggled was able to put up 4 in 1 inning, have that big inning. And we saw it in Oakland. Twins, when they were challenged, they answered. They came up with some runs, some innings when they needed to, and came back late in one of those games. See if they're able to do that here. Obviously going to be tough. 0-2, 2 out.
2 strikes to Gallo. High fly center field. He's hit this very high, very deep, and gone.
Wow.
Into the wind to straightaway center field, and it's 4-3.
Unbelievable. That was 109 miles an hour off the bat. Buxton hit one out there 107 earlier in the ball game, and he is just so strong. I said it earlier. I'm not sure anyone's going to be able to leave to straightaway center in this ball game, but I forgot Joey Gallo was on the field because handoff a lefty, but he caught this fastball middle, and that's the answer you're looking for.
Oh my.
And he knows it's either going to be in a glove or it's going to be over the fence, but he absolutely murdered that ball.
And fittingly, right before that swing, we heard the big train horn because the big train was up hitting bombs. My goodness, that was nice.
Just the third home run allowed by Spire. It's a one-run game. Twins still hitting in the sixth against a right-handed reliever. Joey Gallo provided it. And now it's a one-run game, 2 out in the sixth.
Just look at this swing, the way he uses his lower half. And those are some big legs. Stays behind the ball. And look at the extension. He's got the knob working there, and he knew it. I mean, it is tough to get a ball out of here, and Joey Gallo is so strong. He's hit so many homers in his career. He hit that thing, and he knew he broke through that wind.
Talked with Joey today. I said, "You like hitting here?" He goes, "Yeah, that's all right. I don't think I've done particularly well here," he said. Well, that was quite a poke to straightaway center. And now Matt Brash will come into the ball game.
Yeah, he's going to face Taylor, and he has dominated right-handed hitters. He's tough. He's got good slider. He struck out 46% of the right-handed batters he's faced this year. So it's going to be a tough at-bat for Taylor.
One after a high fastball, strike one.
99, and he does have a video game slider. If we get to see it here, you're going to see it. If we get to see it here, you're going to see it. Attaboy.
Oh, breaking ball. There it is.
There, I mean, 99 out the gate, and then started on the inside part of the plate, let that thing sweep all the way across. Taylor takes his timeout, but man, this is a tough matchup.
I'm going to say he asked for a timeout. He may have asked if he could have 2 or 3 timeouts. And 3 pitches takes care of it. But the Twins do get one back on a Gallo home run. It's 4-3. Twins had 3 of them in Oakland, and this series getting started with a close one. You can get out and play with the Minnesota Lottery. Tune in to the next Twins home game. Find out how you could join the Minnesota Lottery winner's circle and win $50 in scratch tickets. Dick Bramer along with Justin Morneau, Trevor Plouffe. And the 6th inning for Seattle will start where the 5th inning did. Cal Raleigh bounced out, and then things went kind of kaflooey after that.
Looks like it's come back around.
I got to be honest, Dick, my Twitter's blowing up, and they're not.
We're getting slaughtered, aren't we?
Yeah, they're not agreeing with you and I. A rare W for Justin Morneau.
Raleigh with a single and then the ground out that started the inning. And as Sonny Gray reflects on that 5th inning, I'm pretty sure that of all the things he might regret, the regret biggest for the walk to tie France after getting ahead of him 0-2.
Yeah, it's hard when you're out there to convince yourself, a guy who's had a past history of success and being able to drive the ball, and you're not out there telling yourself he's over his last 21. You're just
3-0 to the leadoff man here in the 6th.
Trying to execute pitches, but it's amazing how quick that feel has left him, and Raleigh taking his time out here. Shin guard came undone, but I'm sure Sonny wanted to go back out there, say, hey, let me find it, let me fight through it. I don't want to leave after that.
And a 4-pitch walk starts the 6th inning.
I'm not sure that leash is going to be very long if he can't get down back in on the strike zone, especially after they just scored to get one back.
StatCast powered by Google Cloud through 5 innings.
Just it's the walks, it's the inability or the loss of the feel of the breaking ball that kind of led to that inning of just, we saw him spike quite a few breaking balls in front of the plate. Jeffers did a tremendous job of keeping that ball off the backstop, and if he can find something to get dialed back in here.
Slow roller, and Correa's rifle of an arm gets an out at first, with Raleigh advancing to second, 1 away.
Yeah, this is an interesting play for Correa. It's hit so slow that you almost think, hey, I can wait back and touch second base, but Cal Raleigh got down there pretty quick, so Correa made the wise decision, I believe, to just make sure you're getting out here. You're going to see it right here. It looks like a double play ball initially, but it's just hit so slow that he's got to come over there. He's also, yeah, way off, not in double play depth, which the Twins like to do here.
On and away to France.
Yeah, he was playing, on the pull side for Teoscar. I'm not sure even if he was straight up the middle, if he's able to catch that ball and then make a left turn to go back to get the lead runner to keep him out of scoring position. But smart play of getting one out there for sure.
Breaking ball in there for a strike. In his last start, and it was his 2nd consecutive start against the Orioles, maybe that had something to do with it. He pretty much shut the Orioles down in Baltimore, then had trouble at Target Field. But the 6 runs came in the 2nd inning. And then Sonny was sent back out there to give the Twins 4 more shutout innings. So what we're seeing here after the 4-run 5th is nothing compared to a guy giving up a 6 spot, walking 2 runners in, but then being sent back out there to give the Twins some length.
Yeah, I think maybe the bullpen situation also maybe contributed a little bit. Rocco said he wasn't too worried about not having enough guys to cover the innings, but no off days in sight for the Twins at the beginning of a 4-game series. I asked him if maybe this is one of those days where he's going to ask his starting pitcher to go a little bit deeper. He said, well, obviously it'll depend on the situation. So we'll see how many outs they're trying to squeeze out of him here.
Julian with a long throw makes the play, 2 down. On to third goes Raleigh.
Were you comfortable being a one-handed fielder?
On a routine ball like that, no. I want to go and use 2 hands, but there are certain balls where you definitely, it's better off if you're using 1 hand.
Because I feel like almost like he could have came through that with 1 hand. It's almost like he's trying to make sure he catches it it's like there's just a little bit of confidence that he doesn't quite have yet, and going after it with one hand. There's obviously times when you need to use two hands, but there's also times when you need to let your feet, think of the plays Solano's made at third base where he's set himself up and it's been a one-handed play and his hands work a lot more softly or smoothly through the ball. And I think Julian, if he's able to get comfortable, that might benefit him.
Yeah, if you look at it, for me, when I watch Julian go and things that he can improve on, it's continuing to move the feet. You see how he got planted right there? Once you get planted, you're not really going out with one hand.
Yeah.
You got to continue to move those feet to put yourself in the position. Then, yeah, you can go get it, go through the ball. But as I watch him take ground balls more and more, I think that's an area that he could work on. It's just continuing the movement of his feet. A little bit lighter feet, you could say.
Yeah, he's kind of getting stuck.
He's getting stuck in places.
If it takes a hop you're not expecting, then
you can't move.
Then you're not in a position either to give ground, to give yourself a bigger hop, or go get that short hop like we saw. Solano 2 plays. One of them he got on the short hop. One he got that bigger hop.
Back in the zone, 3-1.
Now, they were all out here early taking ground balls today, and I think that's the most noticeable thing is most of the guys that are out here, they're moving their feet and they're coming through the balls. And again, I don't want to pick on Julian here, but that's one thing that I think that is working on and will continue to work on.
Yeah, that's been a huge focus for him is getting himself to a position, because everyone believes he's going to hit, but we've seen him, they've used defensive replacements on him, a lot in his time in the big leagues, close and late. Twins have a lead. You want to get to that point. It happened to me early in my career. You want to get to that point where that manager has confidence and he's not even thinking about a ball being hit to you late in the game. He's just going, and he's been working at it, and he's gotten a ton better, and he's going to continue to work, and he's improving every day.
Full foul.
And that was something Rocco was asked about, and he said the one part of the game where we know we can get guys better is defensively.
Yes.
You put in the work, you teach them the proper footwork, and then you just continue to work at it every single day, and you'll see the improvement. It's not necessarily the case on the offensive side of the ball.
3-2 to Ford. Full foul.
Yeah, I mean, it is probably the only situation or the only thing in baseball where more repetition is definitely going to make you better. And knowing Julian, talking to him, knowing the kind of player he wants to be, I guarantee you that's going to be a main focus of the rest of this season, the off season, and he is going to get better. He has that type of personality.
101st pitch for Sonny Gray. That gets away. Check swing. They want strike 3, but I haven't seen the call, and a wild pitch will bring in another run. Finally, Alan Porter said it was no swing. Ford will go to first on a walk, and the Mariners answer with a walk, a couple of ground balls that advance the runner for Sonny Gray, his 4th walk tonight, all of them in the last inning and 2/3.
And that'll be the end of his day with Rocco coming out. Just a lot of misfires as this outing went along with that breaking ball, just unable to continue to have that great command that we saw through the first 4 innings.
And again, unusual to see it, but walk's a big issue for Sonny Gray in this start as well. And it's a 2-run lead for the Mariners, still hitting in the 6th. 6th. And the Mariners struggling to score runs, but they've managed to put 5 up against Sonny Gray here.
He was 7 of his first 13 first pitch strikes. First 13 batters he faced, 7 of them. And then after that, only 5 more. He finished 12 of 26. So we talked about it early. He was just flipping that breaking ball in there. He was throwing first pitch strikes with the fastball. He was working ahead in counts. And then all of a sudden, the command started to elude him and he fell behind in counts. And then the hitters were able to lay off those breaking balls because they were in 1-0 counts instead of being in 0-1 counts. And a hitter, when they're in control of the at-bat, you start to shrink the strike zone, you start to get a little more discipline. And they were able to take advantage and see if Ortega can come in and finish off this inning, get the Twins back in there to hit.
And there's strike 1. So you saw it. 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 walks, but there was a hit batter too. So that in essence is another free pass. Swung on and missed, 0-2. Ortega's been good, and he got some awfully big outs in the Saturday game in Oakland. And like the Seattle reliever, striking out the final batter on 3 pitches, ending an inning, but the Mariners come back with 1 more in the 6th.
Of the game, and Sonny was cruising until the 5th. You see Julio here take a tough pitch up top for a walk, an RBI for him. Kelenic puts the ball in play, a little blooper there, but scores 2. And so Jose Caballero comes running around there. Joey Gallo answered back in the 6th inning, the monster blast, but we're sitting right now, it is 5-3 in the 7th inning.
Top of the order due up for the Twins. Correa, Julian, Buxton. A firm fastball for ball 1.
Either he was taken or it looked like maybe he was sitting breaking ball there.
It's a tough at bat, no doubt about it.
2-0.
I mean, these are the types of guys as a right-handed hitter, and he is, let's see,
37 innings pitched, 64 strikeouts.
He's mainly a 2-pitch pitcher, so you can take that and run with it as you want, but they're 2+ pitches.
Missed with the fastballs, drops a breaking ball over the inside edge.
90-mile-an-hour slider and a 2-0 count. Good luck.
Yeah, you really have to just sit on one of the pitches. I wouldn't sit on the slider, I'll tell you that much. You try to get a heater over the heart of the plate. The problem is, a lot of times those sliders look like heaters, and all of a sudden they're gone.
Yeah, you get fooled. So it's a lot of times whether you sit on a pitch from a guy is the fact that whether you can actually think you can hit it.
Off the plate, Correa draws a 5-pitch walk. And we'll see if the Twins can exploit the walks issued, turn them into some runs like they did so well against Oakland.
Nice at bat right there, taking some tough pitches. I think for me, facing Hall of Famer Trevor Hoffman, I went up and said, "Oh, this guy's got a great changeup. He's just going to throw changeups. I'm just going to sit on his changeup." I had no chance to hit that changeup, even if I was looking for it. So sometimes, if you know it's coming, you still don't have it because it's a plus pitch. It's a strikeout pitch, and sometimes it doesn't make any sense to look for a pitch that you can't do anything with anyway.
A pitch like that has to be guess the pitch right and get it in the location that you can handle it.
Swung on and missed 1-1 to Julian. He's reached all 3 times: a first inning walk, stolen base, and a pair of singles, one in the 3rd inning, one in the 5th. Neither one of the hits pulled, and the Twins again have picked up most of their hits to the opposite field. 1-2.
I'm hesitant to call this like a heavyweight matchup because I don't know if that's what it is, but you have a guy on the mound that has plus stuff. You have Julian, who's really seeing the ball well, who can make adjustments during an at bat. This is a fun one for me to watch.
Good take. How do you lay off that right there?
2-2.
Just cool, calm, and collected in the box.
Fouled away, waiting on that fastball, and
then fell off 98 above the zone. I mean, it's just.
That's so impressive to be able to do that. To get your barrel there, and don't be mistaken, that was a click away from being a homer, or a click away from being a strikeout. But he gets the barrel there, fouls it off, extends the at bat.
Up and in, 3-2. Inning started with a walk to Correa. Julian will take his time out with Buxton waiting on deck. And now Rocco Baldelli's coming out to talk to Julian. I'm not sure if he tweaked something.
And he's saying, "Get out of here, I want to hit."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm locked in, dude." I don't know if he saw something we didn't see.
Masa Abe coming out, one of the trainers. Flexing his right hand and wrist a little bit. Probably not on the take, might have been on trying to get the barrel to that 99-mile-per-hour fastball and fouling it off. Full count. Correa should stay put at first. Seemed ready for 98.
I'm just so impressed with him. I really am, man.
It's not quite the same balance as Joe, but it looks like it's the same.
The head doesn't move,
but
right?
The heart rate, it seems like there's never a panic in the at-bat. It's just there's so much trust in the hands.
Wow. Came inside, got him on a swing and a miss, one down.
I mean, there is almost nothing you can do. That's 98 on the black inside up under the hands. The other ones were a little more over the plate. He was able to get the bat to it, but this.
It's dotted.
Just. What do you do?
Buxton with 2 flies to center and a strikeout.
Julian with the point there to the pitcher saying, "Good pitch."
Breaking ball in there, strike one. Swinging through 98.
And this is really, I mean, this is a few years now this has been going on, but this is really where the game's changed. You got a guy with closer type stuff pitching coming in the 6th inning and now pitching the 7th to the top part of the order. And this is kind of how modern managing and game planning goes. Is you could lose a lot of games in the 6th and the 7th inning and miss part of the batting order. So what do? You bring in your high leverage guy. He's got to save on the year, but you've got a good closer at the end. But this is where you don't want to give this game away and bring in a guy with a ton of strikeouts.
2 down after the walk, 2 strikeouts, and now Kirilloff.
And the Seattle bullpen is very deep, and you mentioned they have Sewald back there. Munoz also, you know, he's a back end type of guy, and to be able to move Brash around, and you mentioned it, wherever the high leverage situation needs to be, wherever you need a good strikeout or soft contact. I mean, this is the guy. He's got a very beautiful baseball savant page. A lot of red.
Way inside, ball 1.
So this might be a good time to hang a slider here if he can get one. The way he stays through to the other gap with that fastball, you time up very hard to get something to barrel, but with the way it sweeps and with his bat path.
That's to right, down for a hit. Rounding second, Correa got a good read. He'll go to third. So 2 men aboard now for Solano.
Yeah, not quite a home run, but kind of the way you see it, the way that you see the pitch shape, the way you see his swing match up. He got jammed here. He got jammed here pretty good, but he muscled it out there. And if this ball's over the plate, I think it's got a chance to be in the seats. But there's just something about his swing and this pitcher that looked good before the at-bat started. He was able to get a result he liked.
Brash faced 5 men. Be a new Seattle pitcher with the tying run at first and 2 down. North is brought to you by Luther Group. Shop the Twin Cities' largest selection of vehicles at lutherauto.com. And by Grand Casino. Let your story begin. One of our country's most scenic cities. Seattle Mariners hosting the All-Star game last week. Hosting the Twins this week, first of 4. The Twins putting a threat together with a walk and a single in the 7th. And another power arm coming out of the Seattle bullpen.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier with Munoz coming in, and averages 99 miles an hour with his fastball, but he throws his slider twice as much as he throws his fastball, so slider's a plus pitch for him as well. He's got good stuff. Another guy with closer type stuff down there, closing experience. They trade one power righty for another, and Solano's going to get another chance to drive in a run, maybe 2 here.
0 for 3 tonight, so I like his chances. He hasn't had many 0-fers over the last few weeks for the Twins. In there, a strike. Tonight, Solano lined out to right, struck out in the 3rd, and then hit a ground ball to 2nd. That play turns out to be a pretty big one. Just outside. Remember, the Twins put together a couple of singles and had a threat going. And Caballero made a nice play, and France, great athlete at first base, made a nice catch. Chopped off the plate foul. 1-2 to Solano. Donnie barrels. And a barrel is what the Twins need here, down by a couple of runs. getting loose in the Twins pen. Raleigh with a nice stop. They're all nice with a runner at third.
This is a big battery right here. Munoz and Kel Raleigh. Some big boys out there.
2-2 to Solano. 3-2 Kepler on deck.
You know, you see the fastball there. It's not. It hasn't been a great pitch for him. We know the slider's his pitch. 3-2 here. You got to expect it. You just got to get it in the right zone and be like your namesake. Put the barrel on it.
Takes a walk instead. They're loaded up now for Kepler. The Mariners took advantage of Sonny Gray's wildness to score 5 runs. And now a couple of walks here in the 7th have loaded the bases for Kepler.
Been an adventure so far for Kepler. A little trip on the old bat flip, but go for just a little single right here. Tie this thing up. See if he can get himself into something in the zone.
Chopper to the right side. Head high hop for Caballero, and the Twins are leaving full. Seattle still by a pair as we go to the home half of the 7th. Lead by 2. They've stretched here at T-Mobile Park, and we will bring you our Health Partner Sports Update. Freddie Freeman just keeps rolling along. The Dodgers keep rolling along as well. They won 6-4 over the Orioles, taking over first place in the National League West. Guardians won handily in Pittsburgh. Ahmed Rosario with a big night, and Nolan Arenado still with the Cardinals. I don't think that's going to change. There'll be a lot of changes in St. Louis. There'll be a lot of changes with the Mets, and the Padres, and the White Sox. There'll be a lot of teams in sell mode after some disappointing play this year. You know, there's a decent chance, fellas, that neither the Mets nor the Yankees are going to be in the playoffs this year.
Oh, my. Yeah, it's been a difficult year out there in New York. I mean, the Yankees need Aaron Judge in the worst way. Without him, they are a shell of themselves. They showed it last year and how much he carried them. And then this year, he's working back, and I don't know if there's a timetable for his return just yet.
Starting some baseball activity.
Does Ohtani get traded?
Don't start right now. People are very sensitive about that. I do think he does end up being traded. Really? Although they keep saying they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. But it really just makes baseball sense to me.
If you've determined, or Ohtani's determined, there's not going to be a reunion after this year, then, yeah, in a baseball sense, whatever you can get for him for a 2-month rental, Why wouldn't you?
I think that's where they stand. Is if we get rid of him now, the Angels say, well, let's trade Ohtani. I think they think their chances of re-signing him are pretty much non-existent.
That's hit hard to center. And right there is Taylor, a bullet for the first out of the 7th inning. Right now, the Angels are really 2 games behind the Twins if they were in the same division, but 9 games behind a really good Texas team, 6 games behind an improving Houston team. Houston's going to get healthier. Here's Julio Rodriguez, drew a bases-loaded walk when the Mariners scored 4 times against Sonny Gray in the 5th inning. In there, strike 1.
Kind of wonder what this team's going to do, the Twins. It seems like they have a lot of left-handed corner outfielders at the high-level minor leagues, here even on the roster. You know, it's the most interesting part of the baseball season is coming in the next 2 weeks.
Rocco Baldelli was asked about Matt Wallner being called up, not being in the lineup for Saturday's game, Sunday's game, today's game. He says, well, we've got at least one, in actuality maybe two too many left-handed hitting outfielders. And you're talking about Kirilloff, Gallo, Kepler,
Larnach
in the minor leagues, and Wallner up with the big league club now.
Yeah, I think part of the challenge as well with Buxton being the primary DH of not being able to rotate some of those left-handed bats through there.
How about Ortega? He's been brilliant this year. 2 down.
Yeah, we talk about a lot of guys with pure nasty stuff. He's one of them. There's no doubt about it. He's come in this game and quickly dominated.
A couple of strikeouts, but now 9 innings pitched for the Twins. Only 3 hits, one of them a home run. Kelenic takes ball 1.
Hey, there's another knobbed bat right there. Seeing those pop up everywhere. Look at that thing.
Asked Joey Gallo about that when we saw him use it early in the season, and he has both the standard knob bat and the bulk knob bat that Kelenic is swinging right now. And so in spring training, they determined that in some drills that Joey did, slightly higher exit velocity with that bat, so that's what he prefers to use.
Like, that guy needs more exit velo. Save some for the rest of us, Joe Peace. Come on now.
A few years ago, it was the axe-handled bat that was popular with some. I know Kurt Suzuki of the Twins used it for a while.
Yeah, Mookie Betts uses it now. It's still around the league.
Is that to protect the hamate?
It softens the hamate, but also creates a path for the hand. You can talk about it more.
Yeah, well, it just gets the hands and gets it out of the palm of the hand.
That's the injury that put Mike Trout on the injured list and may, because of that, lead to the trade of Ohtani. So it's all connected. 3-2 to Kelenic. Hit hard and into right field. Kelenic has his 2nd straight single. The damaging one wasn't hit nearly as hard, just a little flare into left field. This a 2-out single to right.
It's a curveball that caught too much part of the plate here. I find myself rooting for Kelenic a little bit. He started off the year so hot. He struggled for a couple of years here. He's got a good swing. All the tools to get it done. He's struggled the last couple of months as well, but
healthy
nice
lead at first, and there he goes. Jeffers without much of a chance. In fact, the throw hit Kelenic, it looked like. Great jump off of Ortega. Not much of a chance for Jeffers to do much about it. The Mariners do like to steal bases.
That's Kellick's 12th of the year. He has been caught 4 times, but tough pitch to throw on that ball. Running into that left-handed batter's box away from Jeffers. And Julian trying to come up and step up and stop that ball from going in center field. Fortunate that hit him in the leg.
One 1-0, and now 2-0. 63rd steal for the Mariners. They've been caught 19 times. Most of the steals done by Julio Rodriguez. He has 22. Caballero with 15, and now Kelenic with a dozen. Two-oh breaking ball, gets a swing and a miss. Two and one to Suarez. Breaking ball frozen to even the count.
A little deception on that pitch. We saw him freeze Julio with that, and maybe just not looking for it to hitter's count, but
it's got great arm action on it. Really fast arm.
yeah, kind of hides that ball. A little short arm, almost like it's just popping out from behind his ear.
Twins swept the A's in Oakland in part because their bullpen was a lot better than Oakland's bullpen. This will be more of an even match here in this 4-game series. And Ortega's been playing an increasingly important role in that bullpen mix. Fouled away.
I don't know if he's there just yet, but almost like the role that Brock Stewart was performing before he went on the IL. A guy you can rely on. Not going to walk a lot of guys. Swing and miss stuff.
High fly to left. Back is Gallo, but it's gone. Suarez with his 12th of the year. A 2-out single and a 2-out bomb.
And that one caught a lot of plate. When you show a big league hitter, especially a guy like a Eugenio Suarez, that pitch over and over again, and you leave one where he left it, sometimes that's going to be the end result here.
That one just kind of spun up there. Didn't have the same action as the other ones.
And again, you just saw it over and over.
Yeah, it makes things a lot more challenging for the Twins to come back in this game with how good that Seattle bullpen is.
Here's Raleigh. Pops it up in the twilight. Hard to see, but Jeffers is able to make the catch, and that ends the inning. 2 more for the Mariners, and the lead is doubled.
7-3. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Don't you think Seattle's one of the most beautiful cities around?
I think it's been a pretty good road trip. San Francisco, where we stay, as opposed to over in Oakland, but that's a very unique city, very unique architecture, and of course is fond of this area. Grew up not too far from here.
Well, now Jeffers hit by a pitch, and the Twins very quickly get a runner aboard against Munoz. Hill got a little steeper here. Twins running out of innings and outs, but a good start to the 8th. Easy for me to say.
I was just going to say, you're not Ryan Jeffers, so. But it got him in the elbow pad, and with how many balls he'd blocked in the dirt so far in this game, and it seems like nothing for him.
Gallo tried to cut the lead in half with that swing. Took one to straightaway center field, his team leading 17th home run of the year. Mariners took the lead back in the 5th inning thanks to the good at-bats by the bottom of their order. We'll see if the Twins can answer here in the 8th inning, but now it's 1-2 to Gallo.
Yeah, Wallner out on deck. Look like he's going to get an at-bat here. See if he can do it with 2 runners on.
Did he go? And Jim Wolf said he did. That's all that matters. 1 down, and now it will be Wallner hitting for Michael A. Taylor.
Yep, he went.
Wallner called up in time for the game Saturday, but didn't play Saturday or Sunday in Oakland. Pinch hitting appearance here. He was sent down after having reached base in 8 straight at bats, and then he continued to do well for St. Paul.
Yeah, he's been locked in. A little tougher test here. Guy throwing 99, coming off the rack after not having played in a few days.
And on 3 pitches, he's gone. 2 down. That'll bring up Correa. Correa will hit. He has struck out twice, doubled, and drawn a walk. One strike for the Twin shortstop. Man, what a power arm. 99. And then the location as well.
Yeah, he's 0-2. First pitch in off the plate, but he got the call. 99, just dotting up, and a guy who throws a ton of sliders, more sliders than fastballs.
Fouled back. Foul tip into the glove of Raleigh. And it's a quick top of the 8th for Munoz. Expect beautiful weather throughout, but right now the Mariners struggling to score runs, have scored 7 runs on the Twins over the last 3 innings. The Mariners will hit now in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Jorge Lopez will pitch for the Twins.
Lopez getting an opportunity to work late in this game. Rocco didn't get into specifics, but said, during his time on the injured list, working on a few things, maybe working on the release point a little bit, but just trying to get a better feel for it and getting him back. If you're going to get to the playoffs, and then if you're going to make a run, you need an arm like this to maybe get some big outs for you. We saw it on the Seattle side, the 6th and 7th inning, having a guy like Brash come in and the ability to strike people out. Lopez, when they traded for him, they envisioned him being that big part of the bullpen, not only last year but also this year. That move made with that in mind, and see if he can just get a way to find a good feel for it.
Joey Gallo trying to figure out the PitchCom device. Each team's allowed to have 5 devices out there, usually includes the center fielder, and Gallo is out there now. But and we talk from time to time about reverse splits, and now Jeffers is going to go out and talk to Lopez. Reverse splits where a pitcher might be more effective against righties in this case than lefties, but then the reverse splits being just the opposite. But never have I seen reverse splits as stark as the reverse splits for Lopez, and so he's going to be out here for the inning. So you've got as long as it takes to explain to me and the rest of our viewers as to why that is.
How about a 3-pitch inning? Honestly, I'm sure if he doesn't have an explanation for it, I'm not going to come up with one that really makes sense. It's tough because
there's a right-handed batter hitting one to deep right field. Kepler's retreating to the track for the out.
I mean, his changeup's a very good pitch for him.
Right.
So I think, I don't know, he struggled from time to time, and it seems like when he has a bad inning, I don't think it matters whether they're right-handed or left-handed hitters. I think it seems like it's been a big inning where he's hasn't been able to limit the damage, and I think just kind of builds on him, and that's the best explanation I can come up with.
We're only 1 out into this half inning. You got 2 more outs to go. One strike to another right-handed batter, Ty France. There's a good breaking ball, but we're talking 97, 98 mile per hour velocity with sink, with movement.
Yeah, and it should be eating up the right-handed hitters and then setting it up. And I think maybe it's the secondary stuff, or just being effective with the secondary stuff.
Foul back. France's walk in the 5th inning seemed to be the pivot point of this game. Sonny Gray was cruising, and then after that walk, it all kind of unraveled on him. Slow bouncer. And Correa has plenty of time to make this play, and he does. University of Minnesota night, Target Field, Saturday, July 22nd. Twins hosting the White Sox. You can catch the game and get your special ticket package that includes a limited edition U of M Twins cap. To secure your spot and get your cap, visit twins.com/U of M. 2 down in the 8th.
All right, inning over yet?
You've got the last out, the 3rd out of this inning, to talk about whatever you'd like. 1 strike. Okay, I'll take over. I didn't like the leer I got from you, so we'll continue to do my job in the hopes that the station doesn't lose its license. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
I mean, honestly, it's hard to figure it out. I mean, I'm sure anytime you struggle, you search for answers, and you want to figure out something that works.
Fall back.
And you want to, we want to know the why. We want to know, why am I not hitting against left-handed pitchers, or why am I struggling with breaking balls, or what am I doing as a hitter? And on the pitching side, you want those answers as well, especially for a guy who was an all-star in the first half last year and has experienced success recently at the big league level.
Julian backhand, stumbles a little bit. Low throw, dug out by, wow, Kirilloff with a great scoop.
What a pick.
And it's a 1-2-3/8 for Jorge Lopez.
They're making the athletes work over there at first base today. Nice play by getting to this thing and then a little bit of a hop. Nice pick.
Out hitting the Mariners, but the walks in the 5th and 6th inning led to some damaging runs against Sonny Gray. And Adcock, who was warming up early in the game, getting a chance to finish the game. The Mariners have a 4-run lead. You look at the numbers and you understand one of the reasons the Mariners, even though they're a 500 team right now, still think they've got a chance to get into the playoffs and then do some damage once they get there. These relentless power arms they keep pulling out of the bullpen.
Yeah, and it's why there's belief in this team that good things can still happen, because when they have a lead, they're very difficult to come back on. See just power arm after power arm. Another guy upper 90s with the fastball and a slider. Those actually more sliders than he does fastballs.
Julian takes low, ball 1.
I think first of all you're trying to get base runners, but also you want to see if you can get the closer up in the pen. If you can get Sewald up, it's almost a win.
One and one.
And I say that because teams not only track appearances, but they also track how many times the guy's gotten up, warmed up, gotten hot. You're not going to do it to him a bunch of days in a row. You get a 4-game series. If you can have one appearance or one game where he's unavailable, much like Duran was for the Twins tonight, if they had a lead late, it would have been somebody other than Duran trying to close this thing out. So you try and early in the series see if you can make that happen.
Stroke to right, his 3rd hit tonight, and he's reached 4 times.
He can hit.
He turned that fastball around in a hurry. Leadoff man is on. Jorge Polanco's started his rehab assignment in the hopes that he'll rejoin the major league club soon, but I don't know where you got to put this guy's bat in the lineup someplace, don't you?
If you can hit, they'll find a spot for you. And for a team that's been struggling to hit for a lot of the year, struggling to put offense together, the combination of Julian and Kirilloff hitting somewhere near each other in the lineup has really made a difference.
2 strikeouts, 2 flyouts for Byron Buxton. And he takes strike 1.
But as we've seen also, when Polanco's healthy, he's a game changer as well. He's one of the more experienced bats and puts together good at bats, really battles his way through. It's a good problem to have.
I do like the notion, we've seen Correa hitting leadoff and Buxton hitting third. I do like the notion of having Polanco hitting second, if in fact that's where he will play between those two right-handed bats, a switch hitter who can put the ball in play, and that could be an interesting top of the lineup for the Twins if that's how they play it.
It just adds depth.
2 strikes to Buxton. Twins need base runners. Off the plate, 1-2. One away, and that'll bring up Kirilloff. Pirates just having a hard time with velocity. Upper 90s velocity in this instance. And now Kirilloff. 2 hits and a sacrifice fly for Kirilloff. To left, hit well, but right at the left fielder. A line out for out number 2.
101 miles an hour off the bat. He barreled that one up. But they had a position perfectly. Kelenic was playing in and towards the line. He had to move about 3 feet to catch that ball.
Last hope for the Twins is Solano hitless. He drew a walk his last time up. Well, the Twins have hit a couple balls hard here in the 9th. 10th pitch for Adcock. In there, strike 1, close to the inside edge. Crack to right, and a base hit, a soft line drive, but now 2 aboard. And if Kepler can reach, we may see the Mariners fire up their closer.
But you're right, not too many days in this season have we seen Solano go over.
Yeah.
He got beat just a little bit, but his approach was through the big part of the field. See, Kirilloff hit his too hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lined out. And see if Kepler can keep the line moving.
Strike 1. Twins have 11 hits, and I think, counting Julian's single here in the 9th inning, 3 of them have been pulled. Everything else has been hit to center or to the opposite field. Now, it's just 3 runs on the board. Twins, in all likelihood, are going to lose this game, but if you're looking for a better approach at the plate, I think we've seen that in the last 4 games.
There's been threats, there's been traffic in multiple innings. You've had run scoring opportunities. There's been, I think, the quality of the at-bats, the battle, getting a good starter out of the game after 5, making him throw a ton of pitches. There's a lot of good things offensively that happened. I think you take an approach like this and understand that if you do this game after game after game, you're going to score 7 like the Mariners have tonight. A bunch of times. They've had great at-bats and a great approach.
Deep to right field. Down the line and gone. A 3-run home run for Max Kepler, and it's a 1-run game.
And with nobody up in the pen, you're going to have Jeffers come up here with a chance to tie this thing up. And a lot of hard hit balls in this top of the 9th inning for the Twins. Some real good swings and just keeping the line moving. Got himself a hanging slider right in the middle of the plate. And I stand corrected, there was somebody up and ready in the pen, and manager Scott Servais is going to go out and get him. But a lot of fight in this Twins team.
3 hits, 3 runs here in the 9th, and it's a 1-run game, 7-6. Pulled 2 of them, a double earlier in the ball game. Now a 3-run home run. And Julien with 3 hits. And Ryan Jeffers with 1 early in the game. He also was hit by a pitch his last time up. Paul Sewald is 18 for 21 in save opportunities. Scott Service, I know, was hoping not to have to bring him in, but here he is trying to pick up a save with 1 out to go.
Well, it's going to be a tough at-bat for Jeffers. 18 of 21 save opportunities for Sewald. A little funky arm angle, kind of a little different arm slot, kind of cross body. Some good sweep to that slider. Way over on the third base side of the rubber. It's going to be a challenging at bat, but you know what? Twins have some life now, and see if they can find a way to just keep this thing going.
And they have Gallo on deck. In there, strike 1. No areas of concern for Sewald. 37 and a third innings, 26 hits, only 12 walks, 4 home runs. He's been really, really good. 1-1.
Good take there. So all that horizontal movement, really tough on right-handed hitters.
And now down to their last strike.
It's almost like Joe Ryan's fastball, where it's almost appears to rise on the hitter. A little lower arm slot, kind of upshoot a little bit.
1-2 to Ryan Jeffers. Took the breaking ball well. 2-2. Got it. Off the plate, it looked like. Jeffers can't believe it. Sewald comes in and on 5 pitches closes out a Mariners win.
Well, a lot of fight, a lot of battle. Let's take another look at this one.
That's how the game ends.
Yep.
They dance in Seattle. Twins Live postgame will come your way from Seattle partially in a moment.